जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की देव विष्णुपाद परमहंस भागवताचार्य स्तोत्र सदाशिव भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की वृंदावन सड़ गोस्वामी की प्रेम से हो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण प्रेम श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गोवर्धन गिरिधाम की वृंदावन धाम की श्रीधाम मायापुर की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की द्वारका मथुरा देश धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to Guru Gauranga Srila Prabhupada की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया ते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके मुखं करोति वाचालां अंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवा श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नामचिन्तामणि कृष्ण चैतन्य रसविग्रह पूर्णशुद्धो नित्यमुक्तो अभिन्नत्वं नाम नामिने वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्जनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, text number 42, 115-42. Trutve hutva cha panchatvam Tritve hutva cha panchatvam तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः सर्वम् आत्मन्यजुहावे ब्राह्मण्य आत्मनाम् अव्यये विष्णुस् तृत्वे हित्वा च पञ्चत्वम् तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः सर्वम् आत्मन्यजुहावे ब्रह्मण्यात्मनाम् अव्यये
त्रित्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वं
ऋत्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वम्
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
सर्वम् आत्मनि अजुहावीत्
सर्वम् आत्मन्यजुहावीत्
ब्रह्मणि आत्मनाम् अव्यये
ब्रह्मणि आत्मनाम् अव्यये
ऋत्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वं
ऋत्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वम्
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
सर्वम् आत्मनि अजुहावीत्
सर्वम् आत्मनि अजुहावीत्
ब्राह्मणि आत्मानाम् अव्यये
ब्राह्मणे आत्मानाम् अव्यये
ऋत्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वं
ऋत्वे हुत्वा च पञ्चत्वम्
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
तच्छैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः
सर्वम् आत्मनि अजुहावीत्
सर्वम् आत्मनि
Vaishnavis. Tritve hutva cha panchatvam
अष्टैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः सर्वमात्मनि अनुभवी ब्रह्मणे आत्मनाव्यये
Tritve hutva cha panchatvam
अष्टैकत्वे जुहोन्मुनिः सर्वमात्मनि अनुभवी ब्रह्मण्यात्मानमव्यये
Rutve into the three qualities.
It is three qualities.
Hutva,
Hutva,
having offered.
having offered.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Panchatvam,
Panchatvam,
5 elements.
5 elements.
Tat,
Tat,
that.
Tat,
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Ekatve,
Ekatve,
in one science.
one design.
Ajuhat,
Ajuhat,
amalgamated.
amalgamated.
Munihi,
Munihi,
the thoughtful.
thoughtful.
Sarvam, the sum total.
Sum total.
Atmani,
Atmani,
in the soul.
in the soul.
Ajuhavit,
Ajuhavit,
fixed.
fixed.
Brahmani,
Brahmani,
unto the spirit.
unto the spirit.
Atmanam,
Atmanam,
the soul.
the soul.
Avyaye,
Avyaye,
unto the inexhaustible.
unto the inexhaustible.
Translation purport given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The annihilating the gross body of 5 elements into 3 qualitative modes of material nature, he merged them in one science and then absorbed that science in the self, Brahman, which is inexhaustible in all circumstances. Purport. All that is manifested in the material world, the product of the Mahatattva, Abhyakta, and things that are visible in our material vision, are nothing but combinations and permutations of such variegated material products. But the living entity is different from such material products. It is due to the living entity's forgetfulness of his eternal nature as an eternal servant of the Lord, and his false conception of being a so-called Lord of the material nature, that he is obliged to enter into the existence of false sense enjoyment. Thus, the concomitant generation of material energies in the principal cause of the minds being materially affected. Thus, the gross body of 5 elements is produced. Maharaja Yudhishthira reversed the action and merged the 5 elements of the body as being good and bad, or mediocre is extinguished. And again the qualitative manifestations become merged in the material energy, which is produced from false sense of the pure living being. When one is thus inclined to become an associate of Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead in one of the innumerable planets of the spiritual sky, especially in Goloka Vrindavana, one has to think always that he is different from the material energy. He has nothing to do with it, and he has to realize himself as a pure spirit, Brahman, qualitatively equal with the Supreme Brahman, Parameshwara. Maharaja Yudhishthira, after distributing his kingdom to Parikshit and Vajra, did not think himself emperor of the world or head of the Kuru dynasty. This sense of freedom from material reactions, as well as freedom from the material engagement of the gross and subtle encirclement, makes one free to act as the servant of the Lord. Even though one is in the material world, this stage is called the Jivan Mukta stage, or the liberated stage. Even in the material world, this is the process of ending material existence. One must not only think that he is Brahman, but must act like a Brahman. One who only thinks himself Brahman is an impersonalist, and one who acts like a Brahman is a pure devotee. Somgnanatimirandasya gnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Lalita Sahagana Shri Vasha Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Welcome all the devotees for this Bagavatam class session. So before starting the session, I would like to take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So this particular first canto is called Adhikara Adhyaya because one should have the qualifications also to read, study and understand Bhagavatam. We have seen from the previous chapters that the entire first canto is leaving the body or retiring from the material life. You can see how the son of Drona was punished, and when he killed 5 sons of Draupadi. And also we can see how most of the personalities are retiring from their material life. This particular verse focuses on the detachment and the renunciation. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj heard the message from Arjuna saying that Supreme Personality of God has disappeared, so immediately the moment he heard, Yudhishthira Maharaj was getting prepared to retire from this the material life. So what we have to learn from this particular point is that Yudhishthira Maharaj, though a very great emperor of the entire planet, and he has all the opulences and the possessiveness at his disposal, but still he was not at all anchoring for the kingdom or anchoring for the facilities that has been provided in the kingdom. He was totally detached from all these things. You can see in the life of Parikshit Maharaj also, the next coming chapters, Srila Prabhupada says in that particular section that once he got that curse from the Shringi, immediately the moment he got that curse, he went and approached the great Vaishnavas, especially Sukhamuni, and he started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And he never cared for his beautiful wife, charming wife, and his possessions, opulences, the luxurious facilities he had in the kingdom. So he also followed the footsteps of his grandfather, Yudhishthira Maharaj. The particular section Prabhupada writes in the purport that Srila Prabhupada, the Parikshit Maharaj has just renounced all his material opulences, just like we leave the stools in the morning times. So we can just imagine the position of the material opulences, how we should treat them. The Prabhupada points out this particular point. So here Yudhishthira Maharaj, though he was a great emperor of this planet, he was not having any desire to rule the kingdom further. Still he had a lot of time to rule it. Still he had a lot of opportunities to rule the kingdom and to have kingly luxurious services. But still he realized that this is a time for me to get detached from this material opulences, material world, and I should renounce everything. So when he realized this, there was some Prabhupada explains about the yogic process in the purport, that how the yogi amalgamates the lower elements and the higher elements into sense objects, into the mind, etc., etc. So when Mahavishnu glances this material world, this Prakriti, and Prakriti into Mahatattva, and Mahatattva into three gunas, the three modes of material nature. So the Tamoguna manifests the Ahankara, and in turn into the mind and senses, and into the gross material elements, and gross material elements into the forms. So and then into the body, and then into the subtle elements, and ultimately to Jiva. So here the Jiva is so much attached to material body. So the entire process of this Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada often quotes this statement that the whole Krishna conscious process is nothing but to just renounce your material life, So this particular verse also says that a jiva should be detached from the body, senses, mind, everything. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj left the kingdom. He handed over his kingdom to his grandson Parikshit Maharaj and Vajranava, the grandson of Krishna. So we can see ultimately the Acharyas gives a lot of comments about this yogic process. So to be very frank, in our movement, in our ISKCON movement, we have not practiced this particular process at all, as far as I am experienced. Because we are directly into the Bhakti Yoga. We need not climb each rungs of the ladder. We are on the topmost rung of the ladder. So Srila Prabhupada, we are very most fortunate to be in the midst of all the Acharyas, that he has given the direct process. No need to practice all these things, no need to amalgamate, take the material elements, senses, and amalgamate in three modes of material nature, and to the mind and to the senses. All these things are totally not recommended by the Acharyas. We can see the great Acharya, devotees, a lot of illustration is given in Srimad Bagavatam, how a devotee directly follows the footsteps of great Mahajans, Mahajana Ena Kata. So they are the authority of this devotional service. So we have to follow those. But still, in the traditional process of this, amalgamating the material elements into the different material aspects is not at all recommended in Kali Yuga, especially after the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just said he recommended only the chanting of the holy names of the Lord and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam Kirtanam and Smaranam especially. So these three aspects itself is enough. There is no need to make separate endeavors for this yogic process. So, and it's also not advisable and not practical also in this Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga, we cannot just sit for a few minutes. The mind is so obstinate, so wavering it is. The moment we see something from the eyes, immediately we'll get diverted. The moment, just a moment like this. it's so wavering, the mind is. In Srimad Bagavatam also, the mind is compared to the drunken monkey. We can see the activities of the monkey. It will not stay quiet for a second also. From one branch to another branch, from one branch to one tree to another tree, keeps on jumping. Similarly, our mind is. So if you just provide some liquor or something to that monkey, just imagine the scene will be. What will be the scene? So there is no need to do all this yogic process. But still, Yudhishthira Maharaj, as a great yogi, as a pure devotee, he amalgamated everything, and finally he ended up in the service of the Lord, and he joined the Krishna Leelas, started relishing the pastimes of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all these Mayavadis, the impersonalists, can see they are meditating on nothing, just uniting and merging with the Supreme Personality of God. No activities at all, absolutely nil. Just spellbound like this, no activities, absolutely. They are like a doll. And ultimately, one fine day, unfortunately, they come down to this earthly planet and again take birth. So what is the need to do this yogic process? There is no need at all when the great Acharyas, the Supreme Personality of God himself has recommended chanting the holy names of the Lord. One time, one devotee, not a devotee, a very new beginner to the movement, he came to Srila Prabhupada in 1970s. When he came and asked Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, what are the different ways or different strategies to spread our Krishna conscious movement? And Srila Prabhupada said, and he said, I am very enthusiastic, inquisitive to spread this Krishna conscious movement everywhere. So what to do, Srila Prabhupada? Give me some advice. Prabhupada said, please join our movement. Definitely we can do all those things. So then the answer from that particular person was, no, Srila Prabhupada, I have a daughter, I have to get her married. I'll come afterwards, after finishing all my responsibilities. So it's not so easy or a cakewalk to detach from this material world. Since we have been experiencing from innumerable lifetimes that we are so much attached to the our dear ones and near ones. So it's not overnight we can do this, but when we take up this Krishna conscious movement very seriously and sincerely, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual masters, definitely the bhakti assures not mukti but prema. If you study the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion, if one renders pure devotional service, then the very definition of the bhakti itself is Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karma dhanakrutam anukulyena krishnana silam bhakti uttamam. So, no desires at all, akama, Anyabhilashita, no abhilasha, no desires at all. Not even jnana and karma should be mixed in this our devotion. It should be pure in the immaculately white. So in that stage, definitely, that is the Uttama Bhakti, that is the definition of Bhakti given by Srila Rupa Goswami. So in that first chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when one practices pure devotional service, namely Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. In Sadhana Bhakti, there are two categories, Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. And also in Bhava Bhakti, there are six divisions, and in Prema Bhakti, there are 4 divisions. So when one does this Sadhana Bhakti, Rupa Goswami assures that you will be put up in a Vaidhi Bhakti where it is Vidhi. The word Vaidhi comes from the word Vidhi, So the regulated principles we have to follow. When one follows these regulated principles, one fine day definitely. And also, Rupa Goswami mentions that the bhakti is not the restricted duration is not there for the bhakti. It's a continued process. When you pour the oil, no, there will not be any stops until otherwise they stop it. Keeps on pouring the oil, not like water. Like that, it is a continued process. There is no rest for that, no retirement, no nivriti for the bhakti. Till our last breath, even here, for that matter in spiritual practice, it is a continued process. So he says, when one renders pure devotional service, there are 6 features will arise in our life. Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha, love is a great, Sudurlabha, and then Chandarananda Visheshatma, and ultimately Sri Krishna Akarshana. All these features you will get once you render pure devotional service. So after pure devotional service, all kleshas will be burnt into ashes, totally burnt into ashes. Whatever it is, Adi Daiva, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, and all other miserable conditions in our material will be burnt into ashes. And also, Sudurlabha. So you get all auspicious moments in your life. And about Mukti, it's Sri Rupa Goswami says, a pure devotee does not anchor for the Mukti. Even the Mukti Devi comes and tap your doorstep. He says, please don't disturb me. I am in the service of the Lord. And Mukti Devi says, I come here to give you Mukti. The pure devotee says, I don't want your Mukti. I want Bhakti, pure Bhakti I want. So like that, even Mukti is also denied by the pure devotees. Because on the process of the way of pure devotional service, Mukti, you can easily get it. So there is no separate endeavors for attaining the Mukti. And so it is very rare to get this pure devotional service, especially only in the form of human life. Only we get this opportunity. Very rare. Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan ma prapadyante vasudeva sarvamitim samahatma sudurlabha. After so many births and deaths, we have been revolved around this 14 planetary systems. After that only we get this, we come to know that the Vasudeva is the ultimate cause for all causes. That particular soul is very, very rare. Very, very rare. So, Srila Prabhupada says, please don't misuse this human birth. It's very precious and one cannot get this. In Padma Purana it says, after 84 lakhs of species, we have gone around this process of evolutionary process. So after that only we get this human life. So it is very rarity to get this human life. Labdva Sudurlabha, in Srimad Bagavatam it says, and Prahlad Maharaj also says, Kaumaram Acharate Pratno Dharma. So in the beginning stages itself we have to cultivate this bhakti. Otherwise one day we will be doomed like anything. So it's not so easy to get